packing our trunks. We're Nicky and Kevin. We're a married couple from South Devon in the UK. 6 months ago, we sold all our belongings, gifted them, donated them, and we packed our trunks and we moved into our camper van Nellie and set off on our adventures. Subscribe to come along on our journey.
A slightly different film for you this week as we reflect on the first 6 months of full-time van life and ask the question, have we made a huge mistake?
Well, it's certainly been a very steep learning curve for us.
We'll talk about the lessons we've learned, the challenges we've faced and the hurdles we've overcome.
We'll tell you about the good, the bad and the ugly as well. We'll tell you about our favourite moments and also about our least favourite moments as well. We'll also tell you as well why Charlie, our faithful old border terrier, is no longer travelling with us in Nellie.
And we'll tell you whether this is actually the life for us and how we see our world going forward. We will be referring to our notes for this video because we've got quite a lot written down between us. But firstly, thanks to Nicky's meticulous diary keeping, we're going to tell you about how and why we choose where we sleep and campsites, how many nights we've spent at each destination, and how much all of that accommodation has cost us in the last 6 months.
So as Kevin mentioned, I've also kept a diary while we've been living in Nellie, which has been brilliant. So we've done a total of 177 nights. We moved out of our house on the 30th of March and we set sail for Ireland on the 23rd of September, which is a total of 177 nights. Of those nights, we've spent 97 nights in paid campsites. We've had 16 free park-ups and most of those have been in Scotland. We've spent 37 nights with family on their drives. We've spent 10 nights in other paid places, like we had a few park-ups at the Long Marshes and a car park in South Devon in Totnes. We also spent a night at the lakeside in Newby Bridge in Lake Windermere. We also spent 17 nights at festivals and other running events as well, where the camping was sort of within the price. We spent a total of £2,582 over the 177 nights.
It does sound like a lot of nights on campsites. There are many reasons why it was right for us to be on campsites for those nights.
So when we moved out of our house at the end of March, we still had work commitments, so we had to stay local in South Devon. We were also had a commitment as well. We looked after our youngest grandson from March until we finally set sail in September. So we had to stay local sort of 2 or 3 nights a week.
We also needed to build our confidence. Van life was new to us until we bought Nellie. Neither of us had slept in a van.
No.
And then we only had a few weekends to get used to her before we ended up moving in. So we had to build our confidence up about existing in the van without the additional pressure of finding somewhere to park, as it were. So that's one reason why we use campsites.
I think also as well, security was another big one as well, both van security and personal security. So as Kevin said, you know, we'd never been in a van or slept in a van until we actually decided this is what we were going to do, and we went and bought a van. And we've got, you know, we have good security in the van, but we're also talking about sort of further upgrades as well. And I think also it was personal security as well. You know, once you shut those blinds and say you were in a car park. So the first time we stayed, for example, say in the Long Marshes in Totnes, this was a car park that we paid to stay in. There was no problem with overnight parking, but it was a bit weird being in such a public place. Then, you know, putting the lights on, you think, oh, you know, people are looking in, and then, you know, then you shut the blinds, and so you're shut into this sort of this area,
Yeah, it takes
and you
a bit
don't
getting
know,
used
and
to.
you don't know what's going on outside.
Yeah.
That was a bit weird, I have to
Yeah.
say. And also the other thing as well, we were carrying bikes when we first set off. Although you know they were secure on the bike rack, I also felt really uncomfortable.
Almost like they were an invitation.
Yeah. So security was a big thing. And the other thing as well is that, you know, we do a lot of walking, running, etc. We also felt a little bit safer, certainly when we first started, leaving the van on a site and then going off for a day,
Such
and,
long days,
and coming
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
So yes, that's another reason.
Yeah. Also, some campsites we stayed on actually hosted events that we did. There were 2 occasions there. One folk music night, wasn't there?
Yeah,
And there was a running event
yeah,
that was actually on the campsite we stayed at. But also lots of events and things we'd chosen to do were either next door to or right next to campsites, and it just felt we could lock the van up, feel secure, and go and do those events. So that's another reason.
Yeah, we actually did a 10k at one of the Trevornick.
Yeah.
It was a Trevornick 10k, and we were actually parked. We booked the campsite, and we actually ran past the van, didn't we? Yeah. Which was absolutely brilliant. It was perfect for us. So that's another reason as well. So one of the other reasons as well, living in South Devon, certainly in the spring and the summer, it just doesn't lend itself to van life. So very difficult to find a free park up, and also those sort of the car parks. South Hams are very good. There was 3 or 4 car parks that you could park in, but you could only stay, I think it was 24 hours, wasn't it? 24 hours, 48 hours, something like that. So it was very difficult, and obviously with it being a seaside resort, it was also very busy, so it was easier to stay on the campsites.
And also because we had certainly for the first 3 or 4 months of this 6 months, we had Charlie the dog, which we'll talk about later, with us. It was much nicer for him to be able to just be on his lead outside the van, have his water outside there, which you can't do at a park up, to chill out. And also the cost of a camping that we told you about also reflects that quite a lot of campsites do charge extra for taking the dog, so we paid all of that as well, up to £10 even for a dog. So there was that as well. Right, we're massively unscripted now, and like the children we are, we don't know what each other has written down here. So just on the note of campsites and places we've stayed, we start off with our favourite free spot.
Oh yes, yep.
I'm going to go for Neist Point on the Isle of Skye.
I've also gone for Neist Point on the Isle of Skye. We have no idea what each other has written on any of this, so it's been like that.
Honestly, what a place to stay that was.
Oh, that was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Scotland was amazing, wasn't it?
Superb free spots.
Yeah.
And we'll do our least favourite free spot for parking. So you go first this time, because I've gone...
The least favourite unpaid place. Unpaid. It's got to be in Reading when we have to. It has to be in Reading when we took Nellie up there to have new wheels and tyres. It was something like, I don't know, 29 degrees.
Yeah.
We were in the middle
of an industrial estate
in Reading. There was a gym outside where we were parked with these metal shutters and the noise and
that is definitely my list.
Yeah. Our favourite campsite. Go on.
Was it called Trithias Farm, which was literally, we parked the van on the southwest coast path, our favourite place in the whole world till we went to the Isle of Skye, etc. But on the southwest coast path in Cornwall, we had the sunsets to die for. Whether it's the best campsite, I don't really care. It wasn't a holiday resort. It was a campsite. It was somewhere to camp, and we were parked next to the wall, and the other side of it was the sea. It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you want to know what mine was?
Go on.
It was Trithias Farm. Yay! And again, like Kevin said, it wasn't the campsite itself. Actually, the campsite was lovely. There wasn't a lot on there. It was quite basic, but you know, it was absolutely beautiful, wasn't it? Really beautiful. I actually had to put 2 down because one of my other favourites had to be Glen Nevis, which was at the foot of Ben Nevis. I don't know what it was. It just had such a beautiful vibe for me.
Yeah,
a really beautiful
vibe.
I agree,
it was beautiful.
Yeah, really, really nice.
I mean, it was obviously a perfect spot for climbing Ben Nevis, but it was also cracking campsite.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, right.
At least we won't name and shame.
Yeah. So our worst paid campsite.
Yeah. So I've got 2.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. So
okay.
my first one is near where we're from. On a weekend when we needed to be somewhere because the Torbay Air Show was on and we had work, and so we booked somewhere for 5 days to know we'd got a campsite.
Didn't. We booked it for 7 days.
We stayed about half a day. We can't name it though because that's not fair. Because it's a place that might suit other people. So
it was awful, and it was a lesson learned.
Is that what you put?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely. It was missold.
It was
on the internet, and I actually did go and speak to the owner and say, look, you know, we're leaving after a few hours, and here's why. And you know, the owner was okay, a little bit upset, but she actually refunded me. So
and that's
you
when
live and learn.
Our eldest daughter then found out that they were going to have lodgers on the parked out the front. So it was good.
Oh,
I've got another one, and it's just a little thing, and we both agreed on this. So we talked about why we've been on campsites, and then as we travelled north, every time we went further north, there were places we could stop, either paid in a car park or free, and it seemed to be more welcome. So times we got to Scotland and the Isle of Skye, we'd had all these amazing park ups. So since then we start looking differently at campsites. So, well, what are you giving us for the money? And the night before we got on the boat to go to Ireland, we only chose electric, even though we're managing our battery today, because it's just. But we only chose electric, you know, because Nick was like, "Oh, it'd be nice, just, you know, do my hair and all that." 6 amp electric just wouldn't run anything, and just nothing for the money, was it?
It cost me £10 to dry
to
the
not
hair,
dry your hair.
and I blew the electric 3 times, and in the end I just had to forget it.
Yeah, well, what have we paid this? So I've lesson learned there, because you can pay £8 at Holyhead Ferryport and just stay in the area for camper vans and motorhomes. So we have changed on. Yeah.
On the note of campsites as well, looking at everything that I listed, the most expensive campsite we paid was £44.50 a night, and we only stayed, I think, 2 nights. That was our first 2 nights.
Yeah.
And the cheapest campsite that we stayed was £15 a night, and it was beautiful. It was in South Devon, exactly where we wanted to be. It had a composting toilet, an outside shower.
We cycled from there, ran from there.
There was a park run near there. There was an outdoor swimming pool. Oh, beautiful. And
it was hot. We could leave the awning out.
Yeah,
so
really nice. There was a chemical emptying point, grey waste. There was water.
They got a pump out tank.
Yeah,
so good.
Fantastic value.
Yeah.
Yes.
So 5 Witches Farm near Bovey Tracy on Dartmoor. Check it out.
Brilliant.
Number 1, lessons learned. Me first for this one.
Okay.
We're still learning, but managing our resources is such a big lesson, because in a house you're so frivolous with the resources, because you just turn them on, whatever it is, or just throw it away, or just flush it away. And the other lesson I think we've learned is only one of us can do. The other has to sit or go out, because we live in this tiny space. But yeah.
So lessons learned. You don't need as much stuff as you think you need. So we downsized from a 3-bedroom house into a camper van. So that was one downsize. And having spent 6 months in the van, we've downsized again.
Massively.
Before we came out to Ireland. And we've just got rid of so much stuff, and it's great.
It's brilliant. It's cathartic.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So hang on, I've actually got more lessons. Sorry. The other big lesson for me is not to trust campsite dryers. That was a big lesson, isn't it?
Clothes dryers.
Clothes dryers.
Yeah,
big,
that's a fair
big
point.
lesson.
Yeah.
That's something that's still a bit of an issue.
£3 later, we've got a pile of wet warm washing.
I know. Or well, in some cases it was £5 later, wasn't it? So that's been a massive lesson. So number 2 is favourite moments. Well, I have to say there are so many favourite moments. It's been really, really hard to pinpoint everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think probably the most favourite moments was going to Scotland and the Isle of Skye. I think that blew us away, and that for us, or for me certainly, that was the start of really travelling, really exploring, and I think being able to live the life that we want to live as well, it's lovely. That's
really
mine.
nice,
So that's mine. I don't know about you.
Well, I've got a bit more specific.
Have you?
I've gone for an actual moment.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
So I've gone for, there are so many.
Yeah.
Honestly, it has been absolute joy, and we'll talk about challenges and hurdles we've overcome, etc., etc. But it has been an absolute joy to spend my life with you.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But
Oh.
the moment for me that I don't think is going to take some beating wherever we go in the world is sitting eating our bagels on top of Ben Nevis.
Oh, yeah. That was amazing, wasn't it?
That was an absolute joy, and it really just felt like a literal and an emotional high point. Number 3 is our least favourite moment. I have 2. One which we'll talk about a bit more, and one which we've already talked about. So, leaving Charlie, the dog, our daughters, which he's so happy. We'll talk about that in a bit. He's so happy, but it wasn't it?
Yeah.
Realising it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
And the other one was literally, I've written, when we awoke at 6 a.m. on an industrial estate at Reading to the sound of a shutter door, an industrial unit shutter door, being rolled up right next to us, and we both thought someone was ripping the bikes off the back of the van. Yeah, that wasn't a great moment.
So obviously, like Kevin, the least favourite moment was
Charlie.
Yeah, I think we're coming to that realisation that Charlie wasn't enjoying van life, and it was difficult, and that was very hard. So my least favourite moments are rainy, wet days when you can't get out of the van at all, like today. I found that I go a little bit stir crazy. Is that the saying?
The saying is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing.
Bad clothing choices. So we've now got the clothing choices. So hopefully we'll get out later and have a walk.
We have to.
Yeah. So the next one is challenges to van life. So initially for me it was living in a very small space. I felt that when we bought Nellie, it was a camper van, that she wasn't big enough. So we were initially going to buy a motorhome, weren't we? And then obviously we ended up buying a camper van. So I really thought at first we'd made a mistake, but actually now I've got rid of a load of stuff and got used to living in Nellie. It's amazing how quickly you do adapt. Another challenge is keeping the van clean and tidy. We don't have to, but for us, we have to. I find that quite hard. The other challenge, big challenge, is the washing, is the laundry. But yeah, that has been challenging, from using on-site laundrettes to using laundrettes like Revolution. That we haven't quite mastered that. And another challenge as well is driving Nellie, and then I haven't driven at all since March until last weekend, when Kevin had driven 2 full days from Devon to Kent and then Kent to Shrewsbury, which are really hard drives, and I just felt that I had to get in and get on with it. So I actually drove from Shrewsbury to Anglesey. It was 100 and something miles.
Yeah, I could just stick my feet on the dashboard and
I
enjoy
know.
the views.
So I feel like I've managed to gain a little bit more confidence. It's still a
Yeah.
work in progress, so that's mine.
Yeah, yeah. I've got these. So I've put new way of living, and by that we raced into van life, as we said earlier. It happened sooner than actually we'd planned. I'd been working crazy shift work, late into the night, early hours of the morning, long days, random days. We'd got no routine. We weren't seeing anything of each other. We were bickering, and so suddenly we got this life where we're together all the time, which is beautiful, and it is beautiful. I've got no actual routine. I've got no. It's a weird thing to say, but getting used to not going to a job took quite a bit getting used to. I found it a challenge not to have that sensation. Every time we've ever been, and we've been adventurous ever since we've been together, haven't we? We go somewhere, we go on walking holidays, running events, we fly to places and do running events, but always at the end of it you're rushing back, and on your mind is what you're doing when you get home. And this sensation of, well, I am home, actually it's taken a bit getting used to, but it's a challenge in a good way, and it's wonderful. Number 5, something good.
Yeah, something good.
Something good, number 5. So I'm finding, what would you say, there's so much, but I'm finding little pleasures. This really pleases me. In the morning, get out of bed, go to the stove, turn the gas on, light it, put the kettle on it. The smell and the sound of lighting the gas under the kettle first thing in the morning in your little home on wheels, for me, that's my something good. It's mad.
And then making your coffee with instant coffee.
Yeah, make it with instant coffee. Sorry, Vanlifers, but we like our instant coffee.
So mine, I've got a long list here. So mine has to be the freedom and the adventure and the experience. It's just been absolutely brilliant. Just a totally different way of life.
Yeah.
I feel that I've come alive.
Yeah, yeah.
We've come alive as a couple,
Yeah,
haven't
I agree.
we?
And
yeah.
we're growing into it as a team.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it's good.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
One more thing as well. I just put my glasses on and looked at my book. Something else that's also good is that we've become time rich as a couple,
Yeah.
which is brilliant.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
It is.
So the next one is something bad. So I've only got 2 things for this, because actually it's all been really, really good, I have to say. So something bad for me is that sort of feeling of I feel anxious when we leave the van. So that's not brilliant, and we're getting better, aren't we, I have to say. Sometimes that feeling of hostility towards van lifers, that can, you've got it as well. I mean, you know, I feel that we're very respectful. We never leave a trace. We don't keep our grey water open. You know, we don't empty our toilet anywhere that we shouldn't do, other than the designated places.
Yes. No overnight parking.
Yeah, we
don't park.
No, we never park, and we never overstay our welcome.
I've actually put nothing bad as such. But yeah, just occasionally, just you feel like, oh, maybe this wasn't such a good place. I mean, to be honest, as you've heard, we haven't done many free park-ups really, but it is nothing. There's nothing bad.
No.
There's challenges, hurdles, etc. which we talk about, but there's nothing bad.
No, not really. No.
7, the ugly. Yeah, the first time you take a full toilet cassette to empty it, don't it?
The ugly for me, and I've put toileting. I haven't taken the cassette at all because I can't lift it. We are going to, and you will see sort of later on in many videos down the line, we are going to do a role reversal, a complete role reversal, aren't we? So it will be my turn to empty the toilet. Damp washing. If you looked sort of earlier in the video, you will see you will see that we've got damp washing hanging on the windows.
Yeah.
That is ugly. And the other thing that really is is damp, smelly, wet trainers.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, number 8, a reality check. which for me, and it's a good reality check, is the reality of I didn't need all that stuff that I had in our previous life, and the reality of how frivolous I was, guilty of it, with water, you know, with your electric. You just flush the toilet, you open the tap, you empty the sink, you and you go shopping. Well, you've got a house, just keep putting things in the trolley. If you can afford it, buy it. When you're in a van, if you do that, where are you going to put it?
Like, we're fortunate we've got the shower in the van, but you know, we've only got 10 litres of water between us. So yeah, it is. You just don't waste. You don't waste anything, and you have to think out the box as well, which we've got better at
really
as
good,
well.
yeah.
So that was also one of mine, and also the reality check is managing your time. Everything takes twice as long in a van.
We could go, it's 20 to 5. What happened to that?
I know. So we've done nothing today, and I've just said, well, what time is it? It's 20 to 5.
It's 20 to 5.
So yeah, you do. Yeah, I find it.
To be fair,
yeah.
Storm Agnes, and
Yes,
we are
yeah,
sheltering
yeah.
literally. So, but even so,
And we needed a down day as well, didn't we?
And we're making this lovely video.
Yes, yeah, and we're having some fun.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 here.
Oh, by the way, this is
Oh, sorry, this is
number
hurdles.
9.
Yeah,
He's
this...
so keen. I'll show you my hurdles.
I know. I'm just managing my time, so we need to keep moving on. So hurdles that I feel that we've overcome is our naivety. When we bought the van, I thought we were very, very naive. We didn't know
Shocking.
anything about the van. I feel we were missold quite a few things.
Yeah.
But having learnt it, we hope that we wouldn't make the same mistakes again. And I think we've overcome a lot of hurdles around our resources, which we mentioned in our reality check. I think living in a van in a small space, I think that's been sort of quite a big hurdle as well. You know, like I said earlier, going from a 3-bedroom house to a 6.3 metre long camper van. And we have to do the Nellie shuffle as well in the van.
Yeah.
So if one of us wants to pass, one of us has to go and stand in the toilet, or go and stand outside, or sit down.
Sit down.
Yes. Hurdles is learning everything about the van as well. Yeah, they're mine.
I've only got one because I thought to think of specifics. Nicky did a different time in our life and it filled a gap for you really. Because of the challenges of our life then, was you started to learn to play the piano.
Oh yes.
And first of all, we bought this old acoustic piano that had been in a pub and smelt of curry. And then we progressed and bought a really nice acoustic piano, and you loved it, and you found this lovely woman that gives Nicky lessons. And the one thing was I'd want nothing more than to go on adventures, live in a van with you, but I don't want to give up playing the piano. But actually, we overcame that hurdle because we sold the beautiful acoustic piano and bought an electric piano which fits in a case, and it slides in the garage we created by making the bed fixed. It slides down the side there. It fits with it. We're well within our weight. We've been on a weighbridge, and using the power of the internet, Nicky can still have her piano lessons with the same lady and still play the piano. And for me, that's a case of, if you want it enough, we'll make it happen. And so we did.
Oh.
Yeah?
Now this is really interesting because Kevin and I haven't, as I said, we haven't shared what we've written. Now I've only written one thing for this.
Wow.
So the title...
It's alright, people. This will soon be over.
So the title of this is this the life for us? And I've got one word. Absolutely.
Oh, that's good, because you know what I've put?
What?
Yup. And so we've got one more point, number 11, and I think we'll say thank you very much for watching this video. If you've stuck through this to the end, buy yourself a drink, pat yourself on the back, have a jammy dodger, honestly.
Or unsubscribe.
Or unsubscribe. Forget it, it doesn't matter. Just idiots. But honestly, thank you so much for watching and for watching all our other videos. And we've got our adventures in Ireland coming up. And if you've enjoyed our Scotland series, we got a feeling you're going to enjoy the Ireland series, because it'll be about us enjoying the outdoors. And hopefully, if you subscribe to this channel, it's because that's the life you enjoy having or watching. So thank you so much. Please like this video, even if you don't. Just to humour us. Subscribe to our channel, ring the notification bell, and then you get told when the first Ireland video comes out next weekend. And tell all your friends. Honestly, share, comment. We love all that. So, number 11, it says, how do we see our future? And I've said, travelling.
And I've said, Scotland, Europe, America, etc., etc., etc.
Bye for now.